In the early centuries of Eastern Asia, there existed a mighty empire known as Saravangshaktiya, powerful realm renowned for its military strength, vast trade routes, and prosperous cities. But the most astonishing chapter of this empire's history began when a 10-year-old boy unexpectedly ascended the throne. The boy's name was Prince Suryavat, born into the royal family. He was never expected to rule because many elder heirs stood before him. But when his father, the interim king, died in a border war, the royal guard chose the young prince to preserve the royal bloodline and maintain stability in a time of chaos. At the age of 10, Suryavora knew nothing of politics or governance. He spent his first weeks on the throne simply listening to advisors debate. Generals argue and royal ministers negotiate. Yet deep within him was an extraordinary gift. His mind was sharp, quick, and astonishingly strategic for a child. During his early reign, the empire faced countless threats. The most significant came from the neighboring Kangxon civilization, whose army of over 100,000 soldiers marched toward the heart of Saravangshakti. The royal ministers panicked and prepared to surrender, but the 10-year-old king refused. He devised a strategy no adult had considered. He ordered a light force of 3,000 soldiers to attack the Kangxon army from behind, while the enemy was still arranging its battlefield formation. Confused and scattered, the Kangxon troops retreated only to be crushed by the main forces of Saravangshakti advancing from the front. The empire celebrated a victory that became legendary, and from that day on, people began calling him the Young Lion King. Under his reign for the next 8 years, the empire flourished. Trade expanded across distant lands. Military tactics he designed became part of national defense, and the empire entered a golden age of prosperity. However, Suryavora's life was tragically short. At just 18 years old, he died of an illness that remains unclear in historical records. His legacy, however, endured not because he was a child king, but because of his courage, intelligence, and unmatched leadership. He remains remembered as the 10-year-old king who once ruled one of Asia's greatest empires.